Hi, welcome back to Waxing On Wednesday, classic rock, and another of my firsts. Today, it's my first Bob Seger album. And my first Bob Seger album was Against the Wind. 1980 release. Now, I've been aware of Bob Seger for quite a while. I've been listening to him. He got a lot of airplay on AM radio back in the 70s. I was familiar with Stranger in Town, Hollywood Nights, a lot of the great albums that he put out. But it wasn't until 1980, Against the Wind, that I actually went out and purchased an album. Now, at this point, Bob Seger's on tour. And he's touring a lot of the local areas. And this was one of my first big concerts to go to in the 1980s. City of Ottawa, he was playing a grandstand show at one of the big exhibitions. It was one of the first concerts my girlfriend and now wife went to together. And it was just an excellent, excellent show. The album, this is what he was touring behind at the time, although he was playing all the other hits, of course. But this was getting a lot of airplay on local FM radio as well. Some great tunes on here. Let's just take a look at who the band was for this particular album. And we got obviously Bob Seger, piano and guitar, vocals. Guitar player Drew Abbott. We've got bass player Chris Campbell. Saxophone, alto Reed, and drums, David Teagarden. Now, this album had a few guests on it as well, and some familiar names here. I'm just going to read off a couple of people that are helping out on here. We've got Don Henley and Glenn Frey from the Eagles, Timothy B. Schmidt, Eagles as well. They're all doing backing vocals on the song called Fire Lake. We've got Glenn Frey helping Bob Seger with backing vocals on the title tune Against the Wind. We've got Dr. John Mac Rubenak playing piano on Horizontal Bop. We've got Paul Hams doing piano and organ on Against the Wind. We have Doug Riley, synthesizer on No Man's Land, and Sam Clayton playing percussion on You'll Accompany Me. A great lineup in there. Some of the backing band has been the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, as well as Bob's band. So we've got a number of tunes here. No Man's Land, Long Twin Silver Line, Good For Me, Fire Lake, and Shining Brightly is the Muscle Shoals rhythm section. And for those of you that are interested, they are Barry Beckett on piano, Randy McCormick on organ. We've got Pete Carlead on guitar, or Pete Carr on lead guitar, Jimmy Johnson on guitar, David Hood on bass guitar, and Roger Hawkins on drums. The album, studio album, they did it a lot on the Nine Tonight album, the double album he put out after he was doing this big tour, which kind of reflects more what we saw during the show. But this was the album he was promoting at the time. Inside, we've got some great stuff here, obviously photos of the band. We've got some of the details of what I read about who was playing on some of the songs, who the people were that were there as guests. They shot a Bob on here, plus all the lyrics for the tunes, so you can sing along. Now, this one was an exciting, exciting show he put on. One thing that really stands out in my mind, and this was really was a great memory. The stage is full of stacks. There's so many speakers and amps and that up there. It's just huge. And during one of the songs, Aldo Reed, the sax player, he disappears. He's gone. And they're still doing the band stuff, and all of a sudden, midway through, sax solo pops up. And you can hear it coming, and you're looking, saying, where is he? Because I don't see him. He's not on stage. He took off. He's on top of the stacks, dancing back and forth across these stacks, playing the sax solo. It really just stole the show. It was a great performance he does. It was a great visual performance as well as one to listen to. Some excellent music, and I think he has some very strong tunes on this album. Let's just take a look at the songs that made up the album. Side 1, Horizontal Bop, You'll Accompany Me, a standard Seger classic right there. I'll tell you, Her Strut, No Man's Land, and Long Twin Silver Line. We've got the title song, Against the Wind, which again, another great tune, Good For Me. Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight, Fire Lake, and Shining Brightly. And to me, every song was a classic on here. It was just a great album. It was a great night, some great memories, and this was my first Bob Seger album. I certainly accumulated quite a few after that, even after he kind of fell from grace, disappeared from a while, and put out a couple of new releases further into the millennium. Yes, I still picked them up because you can't go wrong with Bob Seger. He's just excellent, excellent music to check out. So online, absolutely. Streaming networks, you know it's there. Hard copies, a lot of those still available. And like I say, some of the new albums sound just as great. I mean, he wasn't getting the airplay now as he was back then, but check them out. They're good albums, and I think we've talked about them on some previous shows as well. So that's it for today. My first Bob Seger album, Against the Wind. See you on Friday. It's Video Friday again. We've got another little concert video to look at. So hope to see you then. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.